Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. So we're going to go through some live forward-looking analysis here. Hold on. Forward-looking analysis. Yeah. Okay. So we do this every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. We have an educational course, and then we go through the live market to go through that course content so that you can put the pieces together and really learn exactly what's unfolding. We're going to read the order flow live. We have live trading with JTrader, Stocks Trader on Wednesdays, 10 a.m. And then Scott Pulsini, he was yesterday, Thursday at 10 a.m. We have other events as well. Tom B, he is away. He'll be back on Tuesday. He will be presenting and going through live analysis as well right after this event, typically. Again, back on Tuesday, and he'll go through volume profile. Okay, we also have Rain in the morning at 8:30 a.m. He will not be in at 8:30 a.m. He'll be in at 8 on Monday due to a live event that we have. So let me go through the risk disclosures here quickly, and then we'll jump into live market. We have a lot to go through here. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This is not a trade recommendation room. This is an order flow reading room. So let's jump in and let's do that. All right, so here's our we have data here it's just a revised consumer sentiment, right? It's nothing special. We also have Fed speakers as well, though, so that's might be what is actually going on here. This is kind of a funny move here. I'll just explain why in a few minutes. This is not the move we were kind of looking for at the cash open. Now it might come back up, and we might see huge retracement here. It's already gone like 40 points. So 4200 down to 4160. So huge move right away. This has got to be, obviously it's news. You can see before here, you can see liquidity pulled before the news event. So this is a good way to understand. This is a good way to understand how orders are so important to understand in the market. Here it is right in front of us. There's an event upcoming. The market knows it. It is telling us right here with their orders. It is telling us what's going on in this event. That they do not want part of this with their risk exposure. In fact, these guys actually stayed in the market right in this little pocket around 4180, and it transacted and it bounced out of that area. So you can start to understand and comprehend how important it is to understand order flow, and especially in this case where liquidity is laying in the order book, on the bid and on the offer. Okay, they're up here at 4210. They also stayed in the book. Also a little bit here, they stayed in the order book. All right, so anyway, downward movement here. Yeah, we don't have anything to think otherwise that this will not continue on down until we see something else here in the order flow. Okay, we're looking at the S&P E-mini, guys. We look at it basically any event in here or any market in here. So downward move continuing here. 55. The figure is here at 50. That'll be a good area to hit and fill that higher longer term liquidity here. 300 contracts down there. Okay, a little bit more. Yeah, anyway, until we see something else, until we see big buyers come in above this little swing here at 62 or 63, then we may come back up into 67 and 70, but we need to see. We need to wait and see. We're looking for it here, but not quite seeing it yet. Okay, not seeing those big buyers. So this is just a low volume pullback at the moment, and let's see if those sellers come in now and try to move this market down to 60, 56, and then 50. As mentioned, we'll look at any markets in here. So whatever, we have some stocks, we have cryptocurrencies, etc. Guys, I do want to take a break at some point here and then cover this. We covered it yesterday, the outside liquidity indicator here, and what we gleaned from this yesterday, and we'll talk about this move to the downside as well. Actually, we had the live analysis webinars Monday and Tuesday, and we covered candlesticks in particular. So you can see, guys, that those buyers are coming in here. Okay, so here they go. And now we're looking for a pullback again down to here. Okay, and we need to see if these buyers mean business. Are they going to support it down here? Okay, or are we just going to see this move right away up into 74 and get a short squeeze going here? We'd be looking for maybe around this 80 level again to transact. Okay, it looks like the short squeeze is playing out here. So I'm going to add the stops and icebergs in here. Oh man, okay, so I don't have it. That's not good. I had to reset everything in Bookmap yesterday. So hold on. Yeah, we need it. We need that stops and icebergs. Well, I can demo how to get it. Let's do that as well. So just about to 80 here. This is the problem with pullback strategies and support. That we broke out here. We broke out on pretty strong volume, and then the pullback was minimal here, and that's the risk that you take. Every kind of strategy has its risks. Your risk is that you're just going to miss this. Anyway, we're almost up to 80 here. Let's see if we can get there. Still looking for it to get to 80 here if we can. Anyway, we will come back and revisit this in a minute. I'm going to pose this. I have a poll here that I want to ask you guys. Okay, I've created the poll, and let's see here. Should be able to send it. Oh, okay, too many. There we go. Okay, I got it now. All right, there you go. So yeah, if you guys can answer, that'd be great to get your feedback. This is why. Oh wow, look at this nice move, guys. All right, so this is going to be in line with our higher time frame analysis, I think. This is let me go get I'll need a few minutes to go over this. It's rather complex here, but why we think this is going higher here. Okay, so order flow wise, it's all up here. It's all of these orders up here, and we'll talk about this in a minute. We talked about it yesterday. We saw it yesterday. We were looking for the close into 4,200 yesterday, and I forget where price was at that point, but it was pretty far away, and it did close up there. All right, now it's just because we're starting to understand the bigger picture and how these markets actually operate on very small time frames, also very large time frames here. This is why I want to go over this in more detail, because when people look at Bookmap, they think this is only going to be good for longer term I'm sorry, very short-term scalping type of strategies, and it is simply not true. We're gleaning a massive amount of information here with this liquidity up here and how this fits into the bigger picture here. Guys, I put in the it's been 100% so far in the poll in YouTube on live order flow analysis is what you guys want from this webinar. Now, the reason I put this in, that's always been what we have seen in the past. The reason I put this into the chat, though, or in the poll here, is because we went over the candlesticks in detail on Tuesday, and that was not what we got back in terms of feedback. Okay, the feedback was overwhelmingly they wanted to see more. You guys wanted to see more on setups and some hindsight. It was understanding order flow and setups within the price action, but not necessarily live analysis. Some of it would be, but anyway, so yeah, your feedback here is rather vital. So would love to see it. Guys over in Discord. Well, first off, good morning. But hold on a minute. Let me get caught up here. Okay, yeah, Ricky and McLoco, nice to see you. Yeah, if you guys want to give your feedback over there as well, that'd be great. It's in YouTube because that kind of rocked me a little bit to see that you guys were much more interested in not so much in the live analysis, but the understanding like relationship of order flow and traditional kind of technical analysis. All right, so anyway, I'll let that kind of sift and simmer with you guys and get your feedback on that. It's really important to get that feedback. So please let us know. I'll put the same into the Discord chat room I think later. But this is what I want to go over here. What is so important, and I can see I'm not going to have time to put the stops and icebergs on, so that's fine. We'll just look at CVD today. This liquidity up here and what's going on in this area here. Let's take a step back. Let's look at our higher time frame, and I want to show you a couple of videos in here on our YouTube channel. Here, if you take a look at, you scroll down a bit, and it's under features and components, and also special events here. Let's go over features or special events. That's where I see it right away. So let's click on that playlist here. Okay, here it is here, right? And then what we went through yesterday was understanding this huge wall of liquidity. And understanding this new indicator is what kind of give us some insight to it. It's just a huge wall. We know it's, I mean, I can't imagine it, but like it looks like it's one player holding all of this liquidity here, one after another, because let's see if it's true even now. The liquidity in the order book is all equal, and they all came in at the same time, etc. Okay, so let's just go and check it out here. Yep, here it is. Okay, so 180, 183, 202, 185, 181, 183, 180. This is amazing. At these bigger numbers, like at 40, we see a lot more. There's other players in there. Okay, these guys are still in here. Why? And you can see every other tick, and then you see 35, 38, 32, 44. The tick in between. Okay, so now we can also start to ascertain and understand, if we zoom out, how long have they been in here? And they've been in here the entire overnight session. Okay, here's 6 a.m. here. Well, we can go back and look at more as well, but you guys get the picture. They're positioning themselves in the queue. They want to get filled, and they got partially filled yesterday. So we saw this yesterday in using this outside liquidity tool here, and then we marked up some areas in here. Now this fits into the much bigger picture that we covered a couple of weeks ago, that we saw something. Right, this is it here. This is what we marked up yesterday, was this dotted line. It is at the 42.10 level. Okay, you can see that we've already spiked into it, and I'm still looking for it to spike into this whole zone up here. Okay, the gap fill, which will be somewhere probably around in here, 35, 42.35, whatever, and all of that liquidity is up here. They're on the offer. They want to get filled. Let's see if price can be driven up into that area. And there in itself is a trade idea. Okay, the longer term high liquidity up in these areas in here, advertising that they want to get filled. Right, so we're looking to see if we have any bullish activity in here that might have that unfold here. Now a little bit of volatility this morning. You saw the move down 9:30 and the move right back up now, and we're back up into these areas in here. Okay, so we'll zoom into the bookmap and look at the liquidity in a moment, but this is really important. We're talking about much higher time frame analysis here. We saw it on the daily, okay, 2 weeks ago on the 12th of August. And it was that liquidity up there that was very important to us. We saw it getting filled all the way up. Okay, this was in the afternoon session. It was in the heat map workshop we did in the afternoon, and we noted that this is irregular, and it was a very bullish day. You can see even the next day, Monday, bullish. We thought that this is what was going to happen, since all of that liquidity is getting filled above 42.50, that Monday maybe a spike up, and then the spike below 42.50, and then the move down. Instead, all week long it stayed up here. It kind of bounced off of 42.50 and accepted higher. On Friday here, this is when the move happened. All right, it happened on Friday the 19th, and then we see the move and acceptance and close below that area. So these larger players getting filled all throughout this area up in here, and then the market moved. Nice move. Hope you guys were able to integrate some of these ideas within your trading plan on the higher time frame by understanding liquidity. Okay, so and where did we go? We went down to test these areas where we assume also this area here, a bounce here. It did not. Okay, off of this kind of area in here, maybe a bounce on the way down, and then another move down again. Instead, it went straight down to where there were buyers previously, down here at around 41.15, and then you can see we've bounced out of that area too, and we would anticipate a bounce out of that area. Okay, I'm going to pose a question out there. Why do you think you guys why would we anticipate a bounce out of this area in here? Very simple. And did you guys look for that, or would you agree that you would anticipate a bounce out of that area? Retest of an area. Yeah, I'm with you. Amalago, that the live analysis, that's what you guys are here for. That's what I thought. I mean, that's our feedback all the time. However, we really went over some nice things with the understanding market structure on the higher time frame. Anyway, let's continue on with this trade idea in here, and how to use liquidity on these higher time frames. We always get the question about that, and we very clearly saw it in here in Bookmap. All right, up in this area, this 42.50, we marked it up. We knew it was important, and then we saw the move back down. And the reason that we would anticipate the covering, or at least a pause down here, is because this is where the buyers came in and they moved it higher. They're going to get some we're going to get some profit taking down here. We may get new buyers reloading down here as well. All right, now we got a nice bounce out of that area this week, and then yesterday the move higher here, and then understanding the move yesterday, that's where we went over in that afternoon session, going over the new outside liquidity indicator, and that's where we saw all of this high liquidity like this in here. Okay, and we got a lot of information from that. Why? What's going on in here? This is what we think is going on in here. That everyone that sold up above here, maybe they took some profits down here and they're reloading in this area here. We go to the hourly chart where we marked it up in here with the dotted line and then the dash line in between these two areas in here. Okay, so we're looking for all of this liquidity to be tested, and they're hoping to get filled. Okay, so we're going to see if we get some really interesting order flow, and we can look at basically between 35 and 50 up here today. Look at some of these ideas in the order flow to reach up into this 35 level here, and we're going to look for a very strong bid, total absorption in here on the bid. Okay, we're above our 4180 level that we just talked about as a target on the way up. It's gone through it, above the figure here, down, now back down to it again. Okay, and starting to sell off here. Okay, I'm looking for another retest back up to 80 here, and let's see if we can get more buyers in above 80 here. Then if we can get that move, we could look for our move into 4200. Okay, now these are just scenarios right now. Here's the indicator that we covered yesterday. This see the 15K here and the 77.1K here. This is the outside liquidity indicator. If you guys missed the workshop yesterday, is showing the amount of liquidity outside of the viewable range here. Okay, in the current market. We also have it over here on the left-hand side, 16K and 6.5K. Now this is showing it from the left edge of the chart here. What was in there and at that point outside liquidity. So you get a recording of it historically, and you also get the current market. Anyway, yeah, we're looking for that scenario in here for that retest of that area. Okay, so right now we saw this very nice move back up higher above this 10 a.m. Data in here, and we're likely going to see our stop run in there, and we're right back down yet again. Okay, where this move started from here. Now we can still go a little bit lower into this area here. This is what we saw in real time. Just above the 4160. I thought we'd still go lower into the figure here and then the move back up. We didn't. Instead, we got the move lower, and then this is where that kind of shift and change happened here. And there was no real. We were looking for a pullback in here, which we just simply did not get. And then this short squeeze here to the upside. All right. So. Anyway, let's continue on here, and yeah, I'm gonna have to add in stops and icebergs here. This is just too curious, and we get so much from it, that added confluence in here with the stops and icebergs. So we're down to almost our 65 level. This is our pullback, guys, in here basically. So let's mark up this this line here. And let's see if they support it, and then we'll see if we get our buyers back in here. It makes sense. It makes really good sense that we should. Okay, so we'd be looking for it, and we'd be looking for, we can draw in some structure in here in this, and just kind of look for it to be broken, and look for our buyers to come in. Okay, so yeah, right here, above 70, let's call it. Looking for our buyers here. Here they come. Pull back immediately. Okay, more liquidity down here. Are they getting filled? Yeah. Here's someone on the offer. They're getting filled too. Okay, looking for those buyers, looking for a move right back up to 70, and then let's see if we can get to 74. Okay, looking for buyers though. Here they come. Okay, but we got to get above the swing here, just around this 70 level here. Yeah, still not ready yet. Okay, that's going to be a nice little stop run there. Okay, let's see if we can get buyers back up above that. They also got filled at 67. They're getting filled at 65. Let's zoom out. Let's look at our levels here. Well, order flow wise, it's still simply telling us it's going lower, but we're looking for a shift. Let's see if we get it right here. 63, and then right up to 67 would be the first move. Nope, not yet. Still filling liquidity on the bid here. Yeah, I mean, we're looking for something that is not there yet. And this is why we would continue with the move to the downside here. But we're looking for something to fit into that bigger picture plan here. All right, so now we filled this liquidity down here. Okay, 59.60 continues on. Wow, lows of the day. Okay, so again, we're looking for this idea. It's just not playing out. We stay with the short side here until this idea unfolds, and we got to see it in the order flow. That's when we'll first see it. Okay, now we're down to 50. Okay, looking for a move through it, into it, through it, and then the move back up above 50. Okay, another possible scenario here. Okay, so we're still, looking sell side here through these areas in here, into this area at least. Okay, now we're watching and waiting for the other scenario though. Okay, into 50. All right, thanks guys. I appreciate this feedback in the poll about live analysis, because everyone wants the live forward-looking analysis. However, like I said, this is about reading the order flow, and our take has always been for years to go over order flow, have an educational course that also shows how these markets work at the most binary level, and then being able to use that on all time frames, being able to zoom out and see that same order flow or understanding of how the markets operate on a monthly chart or a weekly chart. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. And then you can apply any strategy. Instead, we took a different tack on Monday and Tuesday, and we went through candlesticks and understanding candlestick patterns and order flow within them. Right, so that's why I was bringing it up. And your feedback here is rather vital, because we'll do an educational course on it if that's what you guys are looking for. Right, and maybe we'll do it anyway, just to cover all bases, because maybe going over a very specific way of trading. I mean, maybe we go over many, but in a more detailed course. Okay, guys, so here into 50, still looking to kind of press through 50, get the hook, sink the hook in here, or set the hook, and then looking for maybe the bounce out of 50 and on up. Okay, so we're looking for that scenario. We see this move all the time, below the big figure, get people going short, and then the yank the hook, and then above 50. Okay, so let's watch for it. And again, still we're watching for it, but there's still no reason to get out of this. We're still sell side, or to change our analysis until we see something different. I mean, sellers are just firmly in control. Okay, and we knew that back in these areas here. We're just looking at some of these areas. Are we going to get our bounce here at 65? I think we're in for a volatile day today. It should be pretty good trading. It's already nice and volatile here. Okay, into 40. There we go. This is a strong move. Still sell side here. So obviously they're talking and interest rates and everything's going to be a big deal right now. The Jackson Hole event with the FOMC. Miles, how do you get this product? Go to bookmap.com. Their pricing information, you can click on this, buttons to subscribe in there. Captain Price, you're all over it here. All sorts of good stuff. Well, again, we just looked, is there more selling pressure than buying? You stay with the sellers. Okay, we're looking for the opposite, and it will happen at some point, because you can't sell all the time, right? You'll exhaust them out. Here we go. Let's see if we get it here. We've gotten above this swing. We've gotten filled. We've seen the fill all the way down here. Okay, here, and here below the figure. All right, is that enough? Do they still have more selling pressure? Okay, well, they're starting to bid up a bit here. We're starting to find our buyers. Great. All right, let's get a move back to the figure now, 41.50. Okay, so we've gotten above the swing here, and now we're looking for exhaustion on the at some of the swings here on the sell side, and more buyers here on the swings to the upside. Okay, not quite yet. See, we didn't get at 45 here, so maybe we have to go a little bit lower here, 41. Okay, now is there still more selling pressure? Okay, then 36, 37 down here. Okay, we're not there yet, right? We're looking for the shift and the change in here. Okay, here's the volatility that we're kind of looking for here. But I agree with you. When you see that come in and they just start hitting the bid hard, it's just relentless. And you look for the bounces though, and the potential scenarios. Like, look at this here. What's the reaction to that high liquidity here? Okay, there were sellers, and there's sellers below it too. Okay, there's still selling pressure in here. Okay, these are actually pretty easy reads. When there's just more selling pressure, you see it now. Here we go again, another test. What's the reaction? Still more selling pressure. Okay, so let's see them try to take this lower here, 40, 36, 37. Okay, now we're above these guys though. Now we can look for also the potential squeeze here. Let's see if we get it. Let's see if we get our shift even potentially here. Okay, and again, the scenario I'm outlining is much higher time frame. I'm very curious to see, and we just haven't seen it yet. But if we can get back up into these areas here, because we know the orders are up here, right? Look at our big down candles last few. This is a 15-minute candle here, so last half hour or so. It's been a pretty big sell-off. All right, we're down into probably the point of control of all of this action here, or this action in here. We know there's buyers in here. Okay, so around 33 or so, maybe a little lower. Okay, I would anticipate buyers. I would also anticipate buyers down here at 20. Okay, so let's look in here a bit more. So this is that 33 level in here. Well, that's 34. Here's 33. Aloha, crypto surfer. Volume and balance indicator, that is part of the Global Plus version. Yeah, lots of add-ons come with the Global Plus version, and we've just added about 3 or 4 extra ones, I think, in the last a few months. All right, guys, still more selling pressure. Okay, watch it though. We're going to really watch this here. And we don't see anything yet for that much bigger move, but we're kind of stalking it here. So we're still remaining a sell side, but let's just zoom out and let's look at the order flow in here and who's in control. Obviously sellers in control, and control here as well. What about these little pockets? Okay, some buying in here, a little bit of buying. What about down here? Okay, well, some selling, some buying down here. Maybe we're starting to kind of slow down a little bit. Okay, they've gotten filled on the bid all the way down. Okay, so this is how you can start to look for the shifts and the changes in the order flow. Okay, at a certain point, it kind of fills these areas and it just can't go lower. Our 30 level here, this is that swing. No, maybe that was 20. 30 level is here. Okay, the swing is 25 and then 21 or 20. Yeah, we talked about 20. Okay, so starting to note. Look at this, kind of getting interesting. Some buyers in here. Okay, it's not a whole lot, but let's see if we get more buyers on a retest here. Do we get more? No. More selling still coming in. Okay, let's see, back to 30 or down to 30. And let's look also at our 20 level. Yeah, 25, 20, and 15. Yeah, the iceberg indicator would be helpful. So let me show you that. Hold on a minute. I'm just going to go through the whole process here, how to get it. So go to bookmap.com. Go to more button here and we'll go to the knowledge base. Okay, and the knowledge base is the hub for any questions that you have. This is the user guide section in the knowledge base which should answer the majority of your questions. Then we go to add-ons section here. This is where you'll find all of the add-ons and information and download information as well. So we look for stops and icebergs. We're there for the subchart one. There's also the on-chart one right below it. And let's scroll down. Well, we can look on the right-hand side. Installation. We'll click on that. Let's see my direct link here, and I should be able to download it. There it is. Okay, let's go and download the latest version here in the on chart. Look over here, installation. Here's where to download it right here. Note what version you'll have to be able to launch it. Okay, 7.1 or higher. Okay, so anyway, we've downloaded them. Now let's add them. Go to Studies Configuration, and let's add it here. Hit the Add button, or not Studies Configuration, it's Configure Add-ons. We'll notice it in here under Downloads. There it is. We'll open it up and download it. We'll open up the next one and download it and install it. Okay, now we click on it and select it and click on the text here. Okay, and it's loading it. All right, guys, the process for all the add-ons is similar. Okay. All right, interesting stuff. Look at this. Okay, now note they're on the bid here at 41.30. Okay, and I'm just gonna I just turned the icebergs on chart. Let's put them in the sub chart here. Note see the shift here. See the buyers come in. Now they're supporting it here. We're getting our buyers in here. Okay. Now we're starting to see this kind of change or shift in here. Okay, we can look for pullbacks to some of these areas. Okay, and stops and icebergs. Let's put those on. We'll hide our CVD. There we go. Okay, great. All right, so this is good. Actually, we did this process because I wasn't sure if I was going to get, since I opened up my Bookmap and I'm using rhythmic data, which you will need for this indicator. Then I applied the indicator, but I already knew that I had the MBO data and it's reading it. So you can see I have data back before or just after 7 o'clock when I opened up Bookmap here. All the MBO data is still in here. So that's great. So we have it. Yeah, massive icebergs in here. Massive. So here, this point here is at negative 490 on up to 2000, basically 2000. So about 1500 icebergs in this little area in here, from here to here. All right, let's mark that area up. Okay, from here to about here, which is funny. That is our other area we marked up. Okay, at 41.66. All right, well, yeah, I do want to, this is where I think what we can talk about here and cover in here is talking or discuss a little bit of discussion on biases and how to handle that. It's very simple. The order flow rules. Okay, I get caught up in it all the time, and I have to kind of temper myself. Let the chart tell you. Okay. You can have these ideas like this grand idea we have up here between 37 and way up here to what is it, 4283 or so. We can have these grand ideas and put this into a bigger picture like we did yesterday or a couple of weeks ago. It took all week for that idea to work out, all week. Okay, I thought it would be Monday. I've seen it many times where it's Monday, it'll go higher and then trap and then pull away. It went all week, and then Friday it dropped. Okay, and then this is easy. Waiting for it to unfold is that's where it's kind of tricky. All right, but we did the key though was we did notice it. Okay, we were looking for this, and we're waiting and watching forever all week for that to unfold. Same idea here. Okay. Now, a question is that maybe they, did they get enough size on up here? I doubt it. I mean, they're still in the order book. That's where we're kind of waiting and watching for the move back up here. All right. So yeah, strong candle here on this hourly. Strong candle, strong move to the downside. Obviously, it's about some of the news on interest rates. And anyway, we're hurry up, don't miss the buying. Okay. You think we're going to test 4,300 next week? Wow. Okay. I don't know. This is where let's continue on with that discussion on biases. That what we're looking for is due to this kind of bigger picture. Lots of limit sells, the move, a pullback, lots of limit sells again. And we want to see if that might unfold, and we're kind of waiting and watching for it. Now we can just kind of maybe tuck that in the back of our minds, and then it comes down to just reading the order flow. All right, so for example, let's read it now. Look at this, higher low, lots of buyers right here. Let's see them stream right up to 40 right now. Okay, see the distinction here. See, this is easier to read. We see the buying coming in. Okay, we saw them getting filled on the bid, sellers and buyers on the bid, but sellers hitting into it, trading through it. Now we're looking for 40, just 40 for right now. Okay, and then if it really picks up, we're looking for 45, and that kind of matches nicely with the liquidity we see here in these swings up here. So anyone that's short in here, we should get some beautiful stop runs up into here, 45. Okay. Now, question is, how would you get into strategies in here, your setups? Okay, because that's the trade idea. Okay. Now again, this is the trade idea, and it's not a trade recommendation. These are just concepts. Are you a pullback trader? Are you a pattern trader? What kind of trader are you? Is it volume profile? Why would you need to have multiple confluences to look for this? Okay, one could be maybe you're looking at the NASDAQ. Let's jump over to the NASDAQ. How's it doing? Okay, well, it looks pretty good. I'm looking for this to break out on up to 950 here. Great. Let's look at the S&P. Okay, so looking for 40 and then 45. Okay, keep it really simple here. We've been waiting and watching for this. And then now this is looking pretty good. So there's 40. Okay. Now again, trade management, there's just so many ways to slice and dice it here. This is up to you. What I would do is something very different than what you may do. What time frame are you trading? How many contracts are you trading? How much risk are you taking? What are your stop losses? These are all considerations. Take some off. If you're trading low time frame, take some off at 40. You already booked some profit. Great. Move your stop up now. Look for areas. If you want, you can even look for areas for getting back in. Okay, so you can have your reasons for it. Again, look at the structure, look at the liquidity on the bid. They're bidding up. We're looking for buyers. We found some buyers in here. They're breaking the structure up here, so we're looking for it to go higher. We're also jumping over, looking at other correlated instruments here to also gain insight. NASDAQ still buying at higher levels here. Great. We're still looking for 950 up here on NASDAQ. Okay, so let's jump back and let's see if this S&P can follow through. Yeah, they got filled in here a little bit, Captain Price, but not too much. I mean, they're still down here, okay, at 30. Not much in the book right now. They're down at 30. There's a little bit here, but we're between 30 and 45 right now. Pretty big range. All right, a little more on the bid here at 33. What's the reaction? Starting to find a bit of buying interest. Okay, can they get above these guys here, this little selling cluster here? Okay, if they do, and we see those buyers come in, looking for 42, then 45. Engulfing red candle on the daily. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it is. Okay, it hasn't closed though. Still developing candle. And this is another thing too. We talked about this at length on Monday and Tuesday about candles and the relationship between candles and what they're showing and what's really going on with liquidity and aggressors. So this candlestick in that sense is meaningless, right? We're kind of looking for this candle to fail. Due to that bigger trade idea. Now this is a really strong, powerful move down to the lows here. Okay, I'm going to clear the drawings here. They're becoming meaningless. Okay, buyers still, they're struggling here. They're struggling to get up and make a higher high here. Okay, now they got it. Now they've got it. Let's see if they can push through back to 40, this area, this liquidity here, and then 45. Okay, want to see this bid light up though. We're not really seeing that yet. Here we go. All right, buyers hit 40, and then let's see if they got enough to hit 45 here. Bid is still not lit up though. You know, still kind of back and forth in here. Still can't get up above this swing either. All right, now if the buyers can't make it back up here on this swing here, then we're looking for the failure below 35 and then down to 31 and 30 here. We've seen this move a million times too. So we're looking for it. If we don't get the buyers here, look for the failure here, look for the sellers to come in here and drive it. And then we should likely hit 31 and 30. Okay, are we getting the sellers? Is it selling? No. It was buying actually down here a lot or more. Okay, looking for sellers. Here we go. Do we get them? No, not yet. Now we're getting them. Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, looks like it wants to go to 31 and 30 here, but it's just not convincing to me. I don't see them fully taking control, basically. So just staying away from it here. All right. Well, like like we'd seen. I mean, the structure is so important here. Lower high, lower high, lower highs. Try and pull in for these buyers. Try to lift it to 45 or 40 and then 45, and they just didn't have it. So we're looking for the break kind of below it here, and then looking for the move back down. But we just weren't convinced by this in here, right? So here come the buyers now, hand over fist. Okay, and we're back up here. Okay, they should be able to move it back to 40 again. Now we're looking for it even more so than before. Okay, a lot of sellers on the hook. We should get a stop run here. Back up into 40. Okay, still, again, not too. This is nice move here. Pullback's actually kind of nice too. Where's the bid though? Was showing a little bit more on the bid, and they're pulling here on the offer. All right, okay, we've got our aggressors in here now. So let's see one more pullback, one more retest back up here at 37, and then a breakout. A little more on the bid. Let's see it if they can do that. Okay, is this getting ready now? Okay, look at this guy come in here. That algo, but he did pull. He's trying to skew the auction here, basically, right? This actually, I kind of like that, to be honest. That I like to see that kind of maybe confirm that if we get enough buyers in here, we're going to get our move. Just can't get them. Can't get the buying in here. This looked pretty good in here. They pulled, added on the bid. Buyers, not here, not here. And we're right back down into the middle of this range here. All right. Well, you can see, I mean, just here's this big move to the downside. And then just back and forth in here, but noticing and waiting for this kind of again, we can go back to that discussion about being biased in here and looking for that bigger trade idea. Okay, and it's still just not unfolding. And that's looking for, that's kind of maybe a little too having expectations a little too high. That's why just reading the order flow simply is such an easy way to go about it here. Just let the order flow tell you, instead of squinting your eyes at stuff. Yeah, it is an interesting day here. Again, lower high here. Okay, let's see if we get our sellers and the move into 30, and then maybe 25. Yeah, they did start to thin out. That's true. I noticed that as well. Like it's not the same as it was before. Let's just zoom vertically. Yeah, they're still up here, and they're still quite a bit up here. Okay, there's a move into 30. No way we'll go there. All right, we'll see. Hey, I mean, we never know. Yeah, this consolidation does look bearish. I mean, this little pop here is a little bit of kind of brightness for the bulls in here, but then we just saw they just couldn't do it. So, you know, kind of looking for it to go lower here. In here was promise, you know, a move back down and then bounce out with strong volume, and they still couldn't they couldn't even get to 40. So yeah, I would totally agree with that, the structure. And we covered this, you know, starting to understand how important it is to understand market structure, and then the volume, and then the liquidity within that structure. Okay, and the structure created by best bid and offer. Okay, iceberg buying still consistent stream of buying all the way through here. Okay, and it's not insignificant, from 800 on up to 1800, so 1,000. Yeah, we'll see, Ben. I mean, I'm with you. Like, we're not going there now, that's for sure. Maybe it closes. We get the big spike to the upside on the close, and we're asking for a lot, right? We're down at like 30. It went up to 200 here, so 70 points here. Yeah, so yeah, I was also looking at that Bartos, that Bartos, that 4120 area here. Well, we have 41, the figure down here. Okay, again, this is where it gets undeniable. We know that these guys have gotten filled all the way down. Okay, they're getting filled in here, 4130. They're getting filled here at 4120. You can see that. Here's our 4125. Now 4120 is next, and then 15. 4110, Captain Price. Doug gives us some options information here. Traders are taking advantage of the down move to sell S&P puts and buy calls. Yep, thanks, Doug. That gives us a good opportunity here to cover this. Hold on a minute here. Doug will be presenting later today, so keep an eye out for it. It'll be at 2 p.m. East Coast time here. Here he is here. We already have 5 people waiting for you, Doug. So it's at 2 p.m. East Coast time, and it's option strategies with Doug Pless. Okay, he's in the Discord room all the time, and he's done a Pro Trader webinar with us before, and has become quite the expert here with the options. So tune in at 2 p.m. Here in Discord and or in YouTube. Okay, some really interesting stuff. I can't wait. He's got a new strategy in here. You can see it under the under the about the webinar here. Where is it? I know I put it in here, Doug. Yeah, he has his Okay, I knew I wrote it. Anyway, you have the options kickoff strategy you want to go over with Hero. I can't wait. Looking forward to that. Yeah, we get so much information on that on the options side. Okay, here's 20 transacting. All right, let's take a look at our bigger picture as well. Keep that in mind. Okay, we're below the swing down here. Okay, we talked about this. Okay, we can go lower. We can go to 12. When we get to the figure, boy, that's way down there. Well, it's not that far down there, but yeah, maybe. I would anticipate, again, buyers in here. So around this 12 or 10 level. So we still have a ways to go here on the sell side. All right. Anyway, let's we'll go through exercise in here, and we'll just look and read just purely the order flow. We'll keep our biases outside of the discussion here, and just purely read the order flow. All right. That's what we've been doing for years. The live forward-looking analysis, and here's our reaction to this liquidity. You can see the sellers coming in, more sellers looking for 15 here. And the push into it, there it is. Okay, and now that's a stop run too, so we can go through the opposite scenario. What if they get back up above 18? Look for the push back to high volume node in here, or kind of average level, as well as the swing up here at 24. Okay, these guys just pulled and added lower, so let's see the reaction to that. See, just because it's a stop run doesn't mean it can't go lower. Yeah, that would be a very, very wrong assumption. Okay, but we also know, though, if you get buyers back up above 18, it's pretty good to come back up into these areas. Okay, so let's see here, looking for these sellers, hit it, 15, and can they sell lower? So there's 15. Okay, the offer is starting to show a little bit of action. All right, buyers back up above it. Let's see if they can go back to 18, 19. Okay, there's our pullback. Now, are they buying back up above it here? They're on the bid there. Okay. Okay, up to 20, liquidity up at 20. High liquidity, 400 contracts, 450. Okay, in between high liquidity at 20 and 15. A little bit of skew on the bid here. Yeah, they're going to trade 20. Looks like buyers want it. just in the range, actually breaking the range. All right, so yeah, it looks like got that one wrong. Yeah, I thought they had the appetite for it. With not much on the bid, they were trading higher. Okay, there's 20. Yeah, not much shaking here. Curious to see how this European close, which comes up in about 15 minutes or so, 17 minutes. See what happens there. Yeah, just not seeing much right now. Just even in the order flow in here, it's just there's not much. Kevson, you're looking for that 4110? Yeah, I kind of am too. The hero kickoff, Doug. Okay, that's what it's called. Looking forward to it. 4111 is the last spot gamma level. Okay. Still not seeing much in here, just even in the order flow reading. I mean, we do see some structure above this structure here. Okay, so let's see if it's going to be sustained. Do we see anything in the order flow to give us insight to it being supported? Not a whole lot. Some buying up here, a little bit higher high. That's good. But yeah, not much. Still not seeing much here. Okay, there's some support. Finding some buyers. Okay, let's see the buyers shoot up into the top here at 23. They should be able to. We broke structure. They're supporting it here. We should get our buyers here. We should get up into 23 to 25 here. Okay, a little more underneath. There it is. Now let's see the reaction to that. See how this is what gives us insight here. What's the reaction to this here? And it immediately sold off. Okay, now they're coming in again. They're pulling on the offer, adding on the bid. There's 23. Let's see it pop up through and get a stop run here up into 25. Okay, pulling again. See how we can get quite a bit from the order book in here in combination with the structure and aggressors. If they're pulling here and you see that the flip on the from offer to bid and you get those green dots, likely we're going to get the move. Okay, another rotation. And all the way back down to 19. Okay, that was short-lived. It's still in play, still. It's just to the bottom of the range here. But We'll see if it still holds, or if we get sellers here, we're going to drop back down to the bottom of the previous structural range here at 15. Okay, this is where, so even on a more micro scale, you can kind of see the sellers take control here. Okay, so it's in here. These are the areas we want to recognize, and then we want to understand, even on very small time frames, same ideas, same concepts here, and else sellers or buyers above it here. Okay, so we're looking to see if like we get more and more sellers down here. Okay, on pullbacks, we're looking for exhaustion in here. We are getting that at the moment. Here. Okay, sellers still remain in control. They still remain in control from here, right? So you can trade these ranges, and you can kind of go with the trend on the smaller time frame in here. Take some off down here. You know, this is your low volume pullback. You can take some off down here. Okay, but you can also hold for the bigger picture and look for the break here back down to this 15 level here. Okay, these are not trade recommendations, but considerations. All right, so you know, just identifying who's in control in some of these moves, who's moved the market, and is it supported. Okay, we've got to go through the opposite scenario, and we did. If it can get back up above the 21 level here, then we look for something else. Okay, so as you guys can see, what kind of unfolded here, this move unfolded nicely. And what did we do? We went back and we reverted to just reading the order flow, purely reading the order flow. And our bigger trade idea, well, you know, we're still waiting for that to see if that idea unfolds. You know, in the meantime, we're picking up cash along the way, basically, or we're catching moves along the way here. Okay, outside liquidity is showing a bias here on the bid compared to the offer. Gamma has flipped to negative. Okay. All right, thanks, Doug. Good stuff there, Doug. Guys, again here, okay, who's in control? Okay, sellers here, but also sellers here. Here. Okay, there's your low volume pullback right in these areas here, back down to, well, either middle of the range, you know, point of control, or bottom of the range. Take some off. Okay, and you're still in the direction of the trend here. Okay, so there you could have, you know, if you really look and study these kinds of ideas, and this works on higher time frames as well, no question about that. Here's your stronger move, or your move away on strong volume, and our pullbacks, low volume pullbacks. Look for continuing with the trend. Trend continued. Notice the sellers, pullback, low volume pullback, point of control, bottom of the range, take some off. And you could have gotten into this again. So this could have been a couple of trades in here, and a couple of trades added to that larger position in here. Okay, so just some ideas in here, reading the order flow. This very simple concept here, let's just zoom out and let's look at it. Okay, well, you would have been a little confused up here. I would have been a little confused on who's in control up in here, but certainly sellers, and this was fundamental news though, we know that. Then we go through that opposite scenario. So sellers here in control, you can see that, you can see that, you can see that. This is where the buyers came in and tested it back up here, and this is where the buyers took control here, and you can see it unfolding. Yeah, you know, I know it's not for the lighthearted in here. You can see it though, and you start to put different scenarios together here, like this little area in here at 41.80, which we covered, which was an important area. We knew that. Another important little area would be up here. Now it just blew right through that 41.90. Okay, there was no pause or anything in there. It just blew through it, but on the backside it did hit it here. Okay, so anyway, buyers took control here, and we assume at this point, and they broke the high here. Okay, it came back into the range, but we look to see who's in control again. You could be a buyer all the way to this area in here, and we marked it up actually, these little kind of swings down here, and we were assuming buyers were going to come in and support this. It supported our bigger picture bias. Okay, well, you can see what happened on that bigger picture bias. Okay, and do we get any clues on that in here? Well, even on these pullbacks, I mean, like little areas and pockets of sellers taking control, and then also the break in here. But we would look for buyers to try to take it. I would look for buyers to try to support it and take it back up to here again. Retest. Maybe it curls back down and then goes lower. But these are the scenarios, and we just have to be honest about it, what we're looking for and then what unfolded. All right, so what unfolded here is it went down below the area. It did pull back a bit in here to 75, and that was it though. And then they broke it here. Now I like to see the sellers move it away from that area, and you do see selling in here, but it's not that distinctive. Okay, there is more selling in here. It's just not that distinctive. This is looking a little bit better in here, and certainly looking good in here. And the pullback on that is just about halfway. We don't get much of a pullback on that. And then sellers again come in here, okay, down to 50. And then sellers really come in here, hit it hard down into 40, okay, and through it here. This was where we had a little more hope, looking for those buyers to maybe support that bigger idea when they start to come in here and start to move it higher in here, and then we covered this, like how they just can't do it. They just don't have enough, and then we look for the sellers to break it, okay, in the swings, and then take it back down to the lows, which they did, down to 35, and then again, look who's in control in some of these moves. Now, if the control by these sellers is not clear, or by buyers is not clear, then stay away from it. It has to be distinctive. Okay, here's another nice one in here, and this is how we've talked about our pivot levels again and again and again. Here it is here. Here's sellers take control down below here. Buyers take control back up above it. And that's our pivot. And here's another move by buyers taking control back up here. Okay? And then here's the move to it here again on the pullback. Right? Now, again, this is just simple to identify who's in control in these areas. Strong volume, strong move. Put it into the context though of the bigger move and the stronger move from previously. Okay, that'll really help, and then you can wrap many different trading strategies around this idea in here. Okay, so someone had mentioned about the engulfing pattern, and how that candle engulfing pattern in here on the daily, right? But what exactly is that? That's no different than one of these moves in here, one of these stronger moves. It's the same idea, right? So that's how you can kind of see the same kind of order flow events in here. Now, we haven't talked about liquidity on the other side yet, and we'll get to it. Now we've come down to our 10 level, right? So now a bunch of us have been looking at 10 and been thinking like it's even gone below it here, that this might be a good area in here, right? To now start to consider for those buyers to support it. Doug, on the other hand, he's looking at something else in the options and said it is turned negative. Look for lower areas in here. Look, you'll have to do your studies, you have to do your analysis, but understanding the order flow in here to support these ideas, okay, and your reading of the order flow. Okay, we can zoom out more. We can look at the bigger picture in here as well. Well, this is at 9 o'clock here, the move higher, and that became the pivot actually for the day, in fact. Okay, so it's here, structure, again, structure, buyers above it, and then the break below it. Here's the tap back to it and the continuation lower. Here's the tap back to it again here on that wicked retracement back up here. That's where this kind of threw me off a little bit. I was looking for that because of this move in here. I was looking for the move back up into this liquidity up here. Yeah, that kind of threw me off a bit. Any questions on that? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but extremely telling, I think, of what's going on out there in the order flow. Let's see. Yeah, kind of the basic tactic is to go with the trend. It's actually not so much trend, really. Trend is very different than what we're talking about. You overtraded, Captain Price. Hey, that's okay. Like you know, you go back and study it. Why did you? Hunting for a bottom. Yeah, I mean, again, let the chart tell you, and let your numbers tell you. Like J Trader, the way he looks at it, he's got his numbers, and he'll look at it and he knows he has an edge at a certain point. Okay. Okay, guys, I don't know. Do you find this helpful? Okay, this can just set the tone, and then look at the other order flow around it, like low volume pullbacks and continuation, etc. If you do not see, now this opens up another discussion. If you do not see someone take control in an area, then you can't really do that, can you? Like in here, sellers, low volume pullback, sell some off, maybe in the middle or at the bottom, hold, continuation. Again, re-enter again here, sell some off at the middle or the bottom of the range here to just lessen your risk a little bit, and then hold for continuation. Same idea in here. There's your pullback. There's a couple in here, and this is a little trickier, but wait until the structure is broken, and then you would take some off again in the middle or bottom of the range in here, and then now the structure actually broke here. Okay, this is where you got to bail, and then you may even consider flipping and looking for the move back up into other swings where buyers are taking control, and it's a breakout trade. Okay, so this is actually starting to play out pretty nicely, and this could be the well, this is the European close in here, and let's see if we can get some continuation on it though. All right, so let's see here. What I was going to cover, you could do that strategy when you see who's in control. What if you don't see someone in control? It's hard to decipher, who's taking this higher or lower and moving it. Well, then it could be range bound heaven for you. It's not my style of trading, but I mean, no one's really pushing the market. Look for swings, look for certain kind of stop runs above areas, below areas, and then move back into the mean, or back into the range. Okay, because no one has really made any sort of distinction. So what the assumption is, and this is so valid of a study, the assumption is if you don't see it in the order flow, then it's likely going to stay in a range, in a value area, and build out that value area. Right, and this is something we'll maybe look at more next week and we can talk about that idea. Okay, but this is not bad actually on the buy side here. Okay, I would say buyers have taken control here, right? Look for pullbacks, look for back to the range, either top of the range or middle of the range, and let's get kind of a profile or just a high volume node in here, and it's actually right about here. Okay, so it's not very much. And now you've kind of flipped your idea, right? Now you take off some profit here. You got your pullback, you take some off, and you have your runner, right? And then you can look for the next break here. If it doesn't, okay, well then you can either move your stop up to break even, or maybe it's going to bounce off of point of control in here. Okay, or maybe you keep your stop down below here, and you add in again bottom of the range. That's where it gets, you really have to know your strategy. Okay, how high probability is it? Now you're going to be wrapping your trade management and your trade setup around it. Okay, and that's really where the rubber is going to meet the road. Okay, but you got to know about your setup in here, about your initial strategy and this idea in here. Okay, because it's got to be high probability. Another thing to add in, confluences, stops, icebergs, CVD. The one I like to add in is looking at NASDAQ or Russell, or another correlated market. How is it doing? Okay, is it ready to turn? We were looking for 950, right? Never got there. Never got there. I think it was in here. We were looking for the move to 950. Okay, and they looks like they're still in here a bit, up at 950. No, there's like 77 contracts up there, not a whole lot. Let's see here. Let me get to some of the questions, and then we'll get to wrapping it up in here. Right. Yeah, you want to look at the stops. Okay. Well, I do have the stops in here in the subchart here. This is by cumulative volume delta razor. Okay, you can see what I'm talking about in here. Again, like, if it's not so distinct, and there was pretty good buying in here, so, kind of looking for bounces off of this area in here, but you can see them push further here, and it didn't break out here, right? So how do you handle that on your +1 now at this point? Are you buying still at the bottom edge here of this range? I don't know. Are you placing your stop there? You kind of get shaken out when you see sellers really start to come in, like maybe a cluster selling here, some exhaustion here on the buy side, more sellers here. Now that did not unfold here. Okay, so it makes kind of sense that now you're getting buyers down here. It's a deal. They're buying down here. Okay, and then now we're looking for the move back up into 22 and 25 here. Okay, again, by understanding some of these moves, some of the order flow within it, some of the support in here. Now let's see if they support it underneath here. And they're not really. I mean, there's some here, but they're not, right? So we're not really quite looking for it then. I mean, the market's telling us that it's not really quite ready for that. Maybe they can buy off of here, a bounce off of here, or it pulls back to here. Maybe it's supported here. It's actually a little bit lower at 15, down at the swing. You can look at some of these areas in here. Here's another one here that sellers little cluster of selling. Now this is really starting to get into nuances about the microstructure. And again, I don't want to, you have to kind of step back away from microstructure and be kind of careful on that and microstructure composite, because it's not necessarily the definition. If you want to truly talk about microstructure, you're looking at sub-second levels. Okay, we're not looking at sub-second levels here. Okay, we're looking at seconds. When you hear microstructure and microcomposite, it does have a different meaning to quants. Okay, they're not talking about this kind of stuff in here. They're talking about really zoomed in. They're talking like 7-second events or 10-second events, like a whole event that traded hundreds, maybe thousands of contracts within those seconds. Okay, so it really, they're getting filled in sub-second levels. Right, so I just want to make that distinction in here. But here again, okay, buyers here, look at sellers in here. They're going to get upended here on a smaller time frame. Here are buyers. Great, we should get the move now up into here, looking for it. One caveat is we just don't see the bid supporting it. However, the idea is still strong. Here's the sellers, buyers back up above it, a small little pivot point right here. Okay, so we would kind of be looking now for this to happen. Let's see if we get some support on the bid here. It's dark. Sellers can take it right back down here very, very quickly. So we're aware of that, right? And manage your trade accordingly by what you're reading in here in the order flow. Okay, here's even a smaller one in here. Sellers trying to get back up above it. Can they get back up above it on some buying pressure? Let's see the bid. We got to get back up here. It's got to be above 19 3/4. All right, what about the bid? I don't like it. I'd pass. Okay, so my idea is not doesn't have all the pieces, okay, in reading the order flow for that idea higher. Okay, and went lower. Right, now we didn't know that. I mean, it could have, we've seen it many times. It's like, well, the idea is here, but we just didn't get all the pieces, so likely we were still kind of looking for it to go higher. But this can happen, more likely to happen than if they had built out the bid and we got buyers up here and they pulled on the offer. All right, now we never know, but we would just say it would be more likely. The orders are telling us, the condition of the orders and the traders in here would be telling us at that point. All right, let me get to some questions in here. Yeah, Captain Price. Yeah, I mean, I would suggest like looking for one simple thing. I don't know if Alan's in here. I don't know what happened to Alan. I got to reach out to Alan. I used him as a an example so many times to look for that one simple thing and then the follow through and then just get out. Right now, if you see that one simple thing, now you're becoming an expert in that thing, and just stick with it. Okay, it could be who's in control, right? And then managing your trades around that area. Or it could be, a candlestick pattern, your engulfing pattern, whatever. Make sure the order flow supports it, though. That's all. And I know that you're trading quite a bit, or you've been trading a while, Captain Price. I'm not trying to say anything, use you as an example, just suggestions for others to help others. So if you, not you, but if people maybe want to look at one thing and maybe that will help them from over trading, and then look for that to unfold again and again and again. Now you have some numbers on it. That's going to make you much higher probability. Look at this. See the bid here? Okay, and they're pulling here. Are we getting buyers here? We should. Let's see. We didn't. If we do, 22. Okay, we're just not getting them. They're not showing up. They're trading down into the on the bid in here, and those guys are pulling. So we're just not getting the full picture here. This looked pretty good right here, right in here, right? Looking for it to auction here again at this level, which is 19 3/4. If we get an auction up here, we would be looking for it to press up into the next level here. And we got sellers up here. God, it's just not good order flow. This is not good. We just don't see much. We don't even see the sellers coming in here. It's just dribbling kind of back down. And then, yeah, I don't see them taking control of this, even though it moved this way. I really don't see it in the order flow here. So it's just kind of a random walk right now. Yeah, you can also see that how having a bias in here and waiting and watching for it, like, yeah, we still have that idea, but it's it kind of having biases like can throw you off as well. I still think it's going to play out in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they have to lower those areas of liquidity. But I'd still be looking for them to get filled. Or there will be some event that happens, maybe some fundamental event that will push price and get everybody stopped out after this Jackson Hole Symposium thing, and then get the move back up into that high liquidity. And then they're just waiting in line. Jack, be nimble. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever suits you. I mean, we're if we're looking at the order flow in a consolidation period as well. Look at the structure of it, and who's the dominant players in the order flow in here. How is it reacting to limit buy and limit sells? As simple as that. I'm not trying to get into debate about it going higher or lower until we see something that makes it more probable. That's all. No, on the bid means that these are buyers, limit buy orders. Okay. CSM Jazz. POC shift again. Okay, lower. Yep, price accepting lower. Okay, watch this here. If we can get it, okay, we'll look for it. But again, pivot area in here, buyers above it, back into previous range, back up to 41.20. Okay, squeeze, short squeeze. Okay, just going through the scenario here. It was a possible scenario. What does it look like? Well, we want to see on the bid, we want to see buyers come in. We want to see them pull on these little areas in the offer here, and maybe even pull up here. Okay, well, how's it looking? It's starting to happen. The bid is okay. Look at the buyers here. It's not that great. Okay, but it's doing it. Okay, and Yeah, and they're starting to pull up here, and they're still on the bid here. Great. Okay, 22. Let's see them get to 22 as well. Okay, top of the range. Okay, now looking for the squeeze higher into 22. Okay, maybe 25. Okay, looking pretty good. Now, can it get momentum here behind it? Should be some short squeezes in here. Okay, and again, I don't even like this move here. I mean, it's doing it, and this is what clued us into the possibility of it, was this buying up here. Okay, and we knew the sellers in here, and then the pivot and the shift. Okay, now basically it's done top of the range. It's basically done what it was, what we're looking for, top of the range. Okay, and that's it. I would take some off, but hold maybe for a move higher here. Okay, now this little move in here, let's see what it might look like on a higher time frame. Okay, here it is, right here. Okay, so, and we talked about the 41.10 level. Here it is here. Higher time frame would be breaking of this and a move back up to this swing here at 41.40. Maybe we get more buyers in there, and they would charge up to, well, 41.50 for sure, but look at the structure in here. So 41.60 potentially, and then from 41.60 on up into 41.75 would be the next one. Okay, we are for kind of a zone, 41.80, and then the next one up in here, 90, 90-ish. It's not a whole lot to ask. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up. We'll call it a day here. Just some ideas, and look for the order flow to support some of this. All right, and that should be the whatever it is that you're trading. Doug's looking at options. He'll be on at 2, and we'll look at his outtake or what he's looking at here, and his reasoning for these moves lower, and continuation lower. He's looking for a continuation lower due to his options. Oh boy, we've been open to the due to that longer term bias for the move higher. Okay, but once we started to see that starting to fail, we were like looking just shorts, or there was no reason to. We're still open to it, that scenario, but there was no reason to look for the longs at that point. But still kind of we had that bias for a longer term, and it never did it. It continued to go lower, absolutely. Right, so but we're still kind of looking for that potential in here, especially after this European close, and get the grind higher. I mean, how many times have we seen that on Friday? This big move, get everyone excited going short, and then it just grinds higher the rest of the day. All right, so just be open to the scenarios, but let the order flow tell us. That's the key here. Okay, so we went over the scenario for the possibility for this to go higher if we see those buyers starting to come in. Okay, if they don't, we're looking for coming back into this range in here, and then down to 4100, the figure down in here. Okay, and oh boy has a very good point. You go with the market structure and order flow until you see something different. Okay, and we know what that difference looks like. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, or that's my comment, I guess, my response to you. All right. Yeah, it is. One thing in comment to that as well is it is very hard to capture the reversals. It's so much easier to just go with it. Okay, Jack be nimble. Yeah, we have some profiles in here in Bookmap, but we're looking at just 3 elements on this Bookmap chart and trying to ascertain who's, the likelihood of a move based on reading just the order flow, pure price action, transactions, and limit buy and sell order book. All right, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. And look for Doug. Yeah, please give us a like. And you can also sign up for Doug's or subscribe to the room, and you can sign up and be alerted for Doug's webinar this afternoon in a couple hours. So we'll see you over there. Yeah, have a good day, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.